Disney's idea to make Star Wars so much bigger after the failure of Last Jedi and Solo? Straight to a streaming platform.
Hello, I started this gangster shit. This the motherfucking thanks I get. Hello, I started this gangster shit. And this the motherfucking thanks I get. Hello.
Hey, welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. You're listening to Ethan Van Sciver, 25-year veteran of the comic book industry, illustrator of future Canadian Prime Minister Dr. Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, creator of Cyberfrog Blood Honey, the biggest crowdfunded comic book of all time, world's most charming man, great big Star Wars fan. Thank you for being here. We're on Guardian.com. Basically news for UK Tumblrites. Disney's Rogue One spin-off must prove Star Wars can be so much bigger. Can Disney make a bigger disaster out of Star Wars than The Last Jedi? Can Disney actually make a bigger disaster out of Star Wars than Solo, a Star Wars story, or Solo, a Star Wars story? I don't know. Let's try to blow up the Death Star of failure, Disney. Let's see if we can do it. I think it's possible that they can. How could they do it? Well, to start with, cast the most incredibly charismatic human being on the face of the earth. This man right here. His name. I'm sure it's a household name. Cassian Andor, a character out of Rogue One. Take a long second to get used to this face. This is today's Humphrey Bogart. This is today's James Cagney. This is today's, in fact, Harrison Ford. Look at the charm. Look at the charisma. Look at the masculinity oozing off of this man. Now, you are going to be seeing action figures of this fellow. You are going to be seeing waifu body pillows of this man. You are going to be seeing coffee mugs of his head with like it'll be a coffee mug, and then the top of his head will be missing, but there'll be a handle coming out of it, and you can drink fanboy tears out of it, I guess. You'll drink fanboy tears out of the top of his head. That's what we have to look forward to with Disney and their new streaming service. Thank goodness they've decided to actually produce more content. They need content for their streaming service. Please, sir, we need content. We don't own any of our movies. Disney doesn't own any of the original Star. In fact, the first movie that Disney is going to own and have the rights to broadcast, okay, because it's the broadcast rights that they're missing, that they're looking for, that's going to be Star Wars 9 in 2019. They don't even own Solo. That's going to probably end up on Netflix before it ends up on their Disney streaming platform. It is a sad state of affairs. They have decided thus to create more content to stream specifically on their streaming service. We could do anything. We own Star Wars. We could do absolutely anything. Let's take this dude out of Rogue One, a movie that most of us have already forgotten, and let's give him an ongoing series about the miserable parts of Star Wars, what it's like to be miserable in Star Wars. Now they could do, and I was saying this yesterday, they could do a Darth Vader series. Why wouldn't they do a Darth Vader ongoing series? Why wouldn't they do The Empire? Why wouldn't they do something like that? Why wouldn't they do Tatooine? Why wouldn't they do Jabba's Palace? Any of these locales and actors and not actors, any of these characters could be reconstructed without trying to crawl to Mark Hamill or Harrison Ford to reprise their roles. Billy D. Williams, you don't need them. You could just use puppets and people in costumes. Chewbacca is evergreen. But no, this guy right here. This is a good choice. Good choice. All right, so let's find out what's up here. There are many reasons. Most fans consider Rogue One to be among the greatest Star Wars movies. It is among them. It's among them. Like if you had all the Star Wars movies there, you'd have the great ones, and then Rogue One would kind of be among them. But it's not one of them. The keenest is perhaps Gareth Edwards' film gave us a glimpse into the grubbier corners of a galaxy far, far away. Oh, that's fun. Star Wars has always been about the greater good, but even Obi-Wan Kenobi's decision to give up his life in the original 1977 Star Wars pales next to the decision made by Rogue One's crew of motley rebels, not least because Jyn Erso, Cassian Andor, Chirrut Imwe et al. Go to their deaths in the full knowledge they will not be coming back as Force ghosts. They're not going to come back looking like Boo Berry. They're not. It's not going to happen. At the end of that movie, they die, and death is final. Thank God. But apparently not. No, it's not. It's not final. We're going to do a bunch more movies starring these clowns. So let's keep them coming. Good. The end really is the end, except when it isn't. Thank you. Disney has announced that Diego Luna's Andor will return in a small-screen live-action series for Disney, the next TV streaming service. That's right. So, Cassian Andor. By the way, Pablo Hidalgo, let me tell you something about Pablo Hidalgo. He's not thrilled with the t-shirts of Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Everyone at Lucasfilm got very upset at my Soilo, a Star Wars story t-shirt. That t-shirt did very well. By the way, you can still order one. The link is in the description. Pablo's like, wait, what's next? Cassian Andor? Yes. Pablo, yes. Thank you for the idea. Cassian latte. I'm sure we're gonna have to do a t-shirt like that. What size? How many X's before that L? Just let me know, pal. Yeah, the series, which will go into production next year, follows the adventures of rebel spy Cassian Latte during the formative years of the rebellion and prior to the events of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, said the studio. That's how the studio sounds, by the way. They sound like that. They sound like little, mice. Little effeminate mice. The rousing spy thriller will explore tales filled with espionage and daring missions to restore hope to a galaxy in the grip of a ruthless empire. The new show won't be the only Star Wars live-action show set to debut. Disney just announced that Game of Thrones' Pedro Pascal will lead its new series, The Wamandalorian, about a bounty hunter from the same clan as the infamous Boba Fett. Now, of course, there was a Boba Fett movie planned that probably would have been a great success. But Star Wars, Disney Lucasfilm Star Wars, is trying very hard for some reason to get away from all things George Lucas, Skywalker, all the stuff that was in all of the movies that people like. They're trying to get away from that, which is why they're doing this. They're trying to kind of push away from all of the mainstream Star Wars stuff that people like to see if there's anything beyond it. Boba Fett, everybody wants a Boba Fett movie. Boba Fett's had like 5 lines of dialogue in the entire franchise, but everybody not including the holiday special. Holiday special was different. He did have much more dialogue in that. Do people count that as canon? I do. I do count it as canon. No, we're going to cancel the Boba Fett movie. We're going to do a Boba Fett movie with James Mangold directing it. It was going to be a Western. It was going to be cool. It was going to be what happens to Boba Fett after the Sarlacc pit. Nope, not doing it. And by the way, what happens? Presumably he would have gotten out of the Sarlacc pit. I don't know if they would have filmed a movie of Boba Fett being digested over the course of 1,000 years. But then again, we're talking about Kathleen Kennedy. I don't really know. I don't know what she would do. Anyway, they canceled all that. They scrapped Boba Fett because they're going to do the Wamandalorian with Pedro Pascal. And it's going to be a TV show instead of a movie. Great. But it could be the one with the greatest long-term impact on the Star Wars movies. That's because Rogue One and its vision of a galaxy beyond the Skywalkers, lightsaber battles. Oh, good. Yeah, get rid of all the stuff. Let's find out what there is beyond the stuff that we like. I'm sick of lightsaber battles. I don't like that. I don't like Jedis. I'm not interested in the Skywalkers anymore. I want to know more about this guy. What's he up to? What's this guy up to with his, dirty mutton chops here? What's the matter with him? What's his problem? Let's find out. Alright, so lightsaber battles and Jedi might have been a calling card for the direction of this long-running space saga. Needs to go on to survive and prosper in cinemas. Honestly, just fire everyone. It's not the franchise's fault. It isn't the Skywalker's fault. It's not that there isn't more to tell with the story. It's just that you've got idiots running the show. Idiots running the show. Keen-eyed Padawan will be aware that Lucasfilm has hired Rian Johnson to oversee. Hopefully the trebuchets will be fully operational by then and will have launched Rian Johnson into the Bermuda Triangle. But listen, if Rian Johnson is going to do a trilogy that does not focus on the Skywalkers, why not Rose Tico? After all, the one good thing that Rian Johnson has done is create Rose Tico, Kelly Marie Tran's brilliant character, my favorite, should I use the word waifu again? Not to sound like a weebo, a weeboo, a weeba. What is the word there? Boomer time. But yeah, Rose Tico. Rose Tico, created by Rian Johnson, one of the most beautiful characters ever to appear in Star Wars. The Force might be female after all. Why couldn't Rose Tico be Force sensitive? Why couldn't we have a Rose Tico trilogy, Ryan? And that better be what you do. That's the only thing you're allowed to do. I'm going to tell him that on Twitter. Alright, so that's something that's going to be a leap for audiences, given that the last 2 episodes have spent most of their time revisiting tropes or reversing popular themes from the original trilogy. So it makes sense to use Luna's Rogue One spinoff as a bridge to gently usher fans to their quiet demise. That doesn't mean Disney needs to reinvent the wheel. And we can expect to see some of Rogue One's more notable figures returning to support Andor on some spying missions into the heart of Imperial territory. Obviously, we're going to want to see K2SO. That's definite. The rest of them, I don't know. Throw them in a pit. Dig a hole. Let them fill the hole with themselves, and then cover over that hole. I don't want to see any more of these characters. None of them. Stop it. All right, let's see how much more of this article I can withstand. This is awful. The Force Awakens may have established a more diverse and inclusive vision of Star Wars to the chagrin of alt-right keyboard warriors. Those alt-right keyboard warriors, F you, 4 and 8 Chan, BTFO'd by Maz Kanata, Richard Spencer. Deal with it, pal. But it was Rogue One that took the concept to new heights and new depths. And here, the spin-off can shine another light on sensible paths forward for the saga on the big screen. Just walk down this path straight into my trebuchet, and I will fling you right into the sun. That's where you're going to go from here. The original trilogy always seemed to offer a view of the galaxy as a place teeming with alien races of all different shapes and sizes, yet whose human population consisted largely of white human males. So the human population, for some reason, it consisted mostly of humans. No can do. We must diversify with American or cut glass English accents. I like English accents. But let me tell you something. George Lucas actually got in there, and he started doing kind of offensive, stereotypical Asian accents and things like that. He started doing more accents. Didn't he? Did he do other ones other than that? I'm thinking of the Phantom Menace at the beginning. What are you doing, George? Okay, yeah, so I disagree. Rogue One gave us a female lead in Felicity Jones's Urso. Oh, thank God. Thank you for Urso. I can't tell you how many times my doorbell rang on Halloween, and it was a little girl dressed like Urso. I was like, oh, look, you're Urso. Oh, yeah. The world's biggest Urso fan. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about any of these characters. They're awful. They're awful characters. And a cast populated by actors ranging from the Mexican Luna to the Chinese stars, the Mexican moon, and Chinese stars. That can't be an accident, is it? Chinese throwing stars? No? Maybe it is. Donnie Yen and Yang Wen, as respectively Blind Force Acolyte, Imwe and his friend. I have to go back to that. It's very poetic. Mexican Luna, Chinese stars. I want to write a song called that. It's about the moon in the sky being from Mexico, but the stars are from China. It's very, very poetic. Who wrote this article? This stupid article. Ben Child. The voice of a child. Alright. Do I have to keep reading this? Look, the point is that they think that this TV show here, they think that they're going to take this character because he's available, and he said, yeah, I got nothing to do. His name's Cassian Andor. They're going to put out they're going to do a lot of these. They're going to do many, many Star Wars TV shows. They've got unlimited money and no brains and no imagination, and they're just going to kind of fill up their streaming service with boring Star Wars filth. Now, what they could do instead, I would like a Jabba's Palace show. Give me a Jabba's Palace show. It would be like, it would be like Goodfellas. No, it would be like Godfather. Okay, it would be a gangster show on Tatooine. And I'm telling you, Uncle Owen is in debt to Jabba the Hutt. That's why Luke Skywalker has to stay behind just one more season. You know, pay off those debts. Uncle Owen is a degenerate gambler. That would be great. And then maybe it wasn't stormtroopers who killed Owen and Aunt Beru. Maybe it was Jabba's guys who just got sick of it. There's so much that you can do. This is a terrible idea. I don't know if anybody's going to enjoy this. I really don't. I'd like to see something a little bit more colorful. They've got all the money in the world. They've got the best characters in the world. If only they just had a spark of joy and creative ingenuity. Stop worrying about diversity. Start worrying about entertaining people. Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there. Show your friends you support independent comics while showing the world who you back in the fight against the swarm with the brand new Cyberfrog t-shirt from Crypto Fashion and Comic Artist Pro Secret. Sizes come in small to 5XL, and take your choice of colors between navy blue, white, and black. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and order the Fandom Menace, Go Get Daddy's Belt, Tico, and Soilo t-shirts as well. Link is below in the description. You're going to look great. People love these shirts. They fit wonderfully. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the Laughing Man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.